speaking of guards, Bryce Williams playing at an all-Big Ten caliber. He has been tremendous. He's getting to the free throw line a lot and doing it efficiently, scoring the ball.
You can bet with Mick Cronin, he is the focal point of what the Bruin defense is all about. No one brings pressure to the perimeter as well as does UCLA. Gell, the young man that played at UCLA a year ago, made his way to Nebraska, a guy that really fits into what Hoiberg likes to do far more than he did with Cronin. Mick, of course, I mean, his reputation speaks volumes. I love the fact that he still brings the three-piece to the college game. We need that. And, of course, his counterpart today, Fred Hoiberg, a guy that played the game at a very high level at Iowa State and now is coaching it at an equally high level after spending time in the NBA. And Dylan Andrews giving it up. Keep an eye on Kobe Johnson. UCLA been shooting at a very high clip from downtown. Shot clock is under 5. Here's Bilodeau. You know it's going up. Doesn't get the roll, and it's pulled down by Burke. Gell, he gets it right into the hands of Bryce Williams.
That matchup, though, for Nia is going to be difficult with Bilodeau with his versatility.
Great move, everything but the finish, really, for Juwan Gary.
This is where Mick Cronin said, we want to attack early before Nebraska gets their half-court defense set. They'll look to see the Bruins explore early in the possession.
Great pass. Beautifully done. Executed by Mack. And then he gets it into the big fella, and Bilodeau knows what to do with it.
Always good to get your leading scorer an easy one early. Bilodeau with a layup will get him settled into this game.
And by the way, he can hit from downtown in a very large way. Nebraska is a team that wants to launch some threes. Angle was magnificent. Now they've got a couple of answers, including a Sejan, the Wisconsin transfer, whom you'll see a bit later. And out of bounds that time was Sebastian Mack. Here's that beautiful pass into the interior we were talking about.
And ball gets swung around. Two guys run at Sebastian Mack, and nobody rotates home. And Bilodeau downstairs knows what to do with it. Just a great pass. And again, it's always so crucial to get your leading scorer in a rhythm and a flow early. And I think Bilodeau is going to cause issues for Nebraska playing their big lineup. So Nebraska needs to punish the smaller UCLA lineup on this end of the floor, in the paint and on the glass.
Nebraska really was without a true point guard a year ago. Now they've got a couple of guys that can really handle it. Wooster especially. Gell trying to post up, gets doubled quickly, and it leads to a turnover. Cleared into the hands of Andrews. Clark runs it down. It's out of bounds, and it belongs to Nebraska. There's Fred. The nickname, of course, the mayor, that stuck with him. Incredible after talking with him today to think that he made his name at Iowa State, both as a player and a coach. But this is his home, really. Nebraska is home, and he could not feel more at home than he does right now with this program, now in his 6th year.
He's done an amazing job. The last 2.5 seasons have been really good, and as you can see, that's what this game's all about with UCLA. You saw the turnover on the last possession with Gell. When there's penetration, there's going to be Bruins coming in, and they're coming in with malicious intent to try and take the basketball from you.
Only good thing about that, it wasn't a live ball turnover, but it's the 3rd committed by Nebraska in their possessions. 0 for 3 and 3 turnovers. And UCLA forces more than any team in the country. Another tremendous interior pass. Count it. And a foul. Sky Clark gets it done, and a beautiful laser thrown by Mack.
That's a second nice pass from Mack down low, as Nebraska defensively just out of sorts. And one of the things about Nebraska's defense, it's a unique one. They force everything to the baseline. They're going to trap the posts and trap any penetration baseline. And Mick Cronin told us he was glad they had a multiple-day opportunity to prepare for this defense, because you don't see it a lot. And I think you're seeing some of that preparation early in this game for UCLA.
One of the things I think about this particular team for Nebraska, with the players that Hoiberg's been able to bring in, they are an older group now, and they They play inside out as opposed to outside in. And that's both offensively and defensively.
Well, and the other thing, I loved what Mick Cronin said, too. He said, our defense is a weapon. And they need that weapon to show itself. And so far, it has. And UCLA likes to do this. A little bit of full court pressure, man-to-man, just try and wear into you. And so Bryce Williams and his ability to slide over and initiate offense will be important because you know Wooster can as the primary point guard.
Mick's been in this building before while coaching Cincinnati. Wooster raises the front iron. It goes crying, and Kobe Johnson brings it down. Bilodeau running the floor. And he is fouled by Jawan Gary. And the Partisans don't like it. Had a lot of leather.
UCLA, they say defense travels, but apparently passing travels as well. Kobe Johnson, this is a terrific pass. Bilodeau, great rim run. Nobody, you got to stop the ball and the basket. Gary tardy to the party, and he gets hit with a foul.
Yeah, crowd responding because there was a lot of leather, but there was also body involved, and that's why Bilodeau's at the line.
I think Fred Hoiberg probably needs to look to get Connor Essegian in the game as soon as he can, just to spread the floor a little bit. Just this is their big lineup, Nebraska, with Gary, Mia, and Buchtengel. And I think you need some more ball handling and some more floor spacing.
I think that was one of the questions we asked, if I recall. Mick, do you want to see them be forced to go small? And that's exactly what he's about to do, is force the Huskers to go small as Bilodeau checks out. And he's got 4 quick points, and he's going to get a quick blow before the under-16 timeout.
So Adai Mata in the game. Wow, what a screen from Buchtengel as Scott Clark is down.
Yeah, it's 5-on-4 now. He's slowly getting up, holding his hip. Gary, and they're just stone cold here at the outset from downtown.
I mean, that was a monster screen from Buchtengel. Nobody talked, and Clark got rocked.
Yeah, Clark, by the way, is favoring his left arm right now. That pass is picked off inside. Great help from Braxton Mia.
Try to get Bryce Williams going towards the basket if you can, if you're Nebraska.
Trying to work the curl. Cut off Bryce Williams. They are suffocating him. He does launch this three and rattles it home. Well, that makes the locals happy before we have the first timeout. 7-3. You see his numbers. Outstanding, as my partner alluded in the open.
50% from the floor, 40% from 3, and 90 from the line. Bryce Williams is.
Clark has that one kicked out of bounds, and we've got a timeout. How about a
game comes down to us handling the basketball, and so far through the first 4.5 minutes, Nebraska's offense was off schedule, turned it over 3 times. See if the Huskers can settle in.
I think he's got that much-needed 3. Williams trying to answer. That's an air ball, and that's going to be a foul over the back that time as the Bruins, Adai Mata picks up the foul, and there's that suffocating defense we were talking about. Look at that rating and what they do. And you're talking about 18 turnovers. That is magnificent.
Yes.
Those of you that are acquainted with what Michigan State has done and continues to do, did so against Ohio State last night. Same kind of story for this Bruins team. Beautiful dunk. Magnificent for Wooster. He just saw a wide open lane and ad-lib going to the left hand, and it's 7-5.
And keep in mind, Wooster is a Utah transfer, so he's seen this UCLA defense, which matters. A great refusal of the ball screen and layup.
Mata, they collapse on him, and the Huskers get a turnover.
Look out.
The season off the heel and the long rebound to Gary and a recycle. Williams a pull-up. Mata affected that shot. It goes high, arching off the window pane.
Where a double team comes in the post, no matter what, Tim, it'll come from the baseline. There'll be 3-pointer opportunities if you scramble out of it for UCLA.
Trent Perry just into the game, out of the timeout. Finds Clark. And the rebound cleared to Gary.
But that pass, that's what's there. Nebraska loads to the ball. So the opposite side of the floor is what's open for threes. That's a nice skip pass.
And a foul spotted as Johnson was collapsing on Andrew Morgan, number 23, and picks up the foul.
Look at this, just a jab and catches Trent Perry peeking to fight over that screen, and nobody at home because everybody pressed out, trying to make everything tough on the catch. Nice play from Raleigh Wooster to get an easy one.
Sam Hoiberg, the son of the coach, has checked in. He is your quintessential son of the coach in terms of his understanding of the game. Gets a lot of minutes. And these are not pedestrian minutes for him. Slipping down. Bryce Williams, hope he's okay. 3 bodies on the floor simultaneously. And the coach's son disrupts it enough to get the turnover.
It's a great call, Timmy, because that's exactly right. Hoiberg didn't get it, but his dive created possession for Nebraska. As Bryce Williams, that was an awkward fall, but watch number 1 coming out of the left part of your screen. He's going to come dive, and it allows it so Andrews can't corral it cleanly.
And remember now, only 10 seconds on the shot clock remaining. The ball never touched the rim. Our officials today, Paul Sells, Randy Richardson, DJ Karstensen. And an offensive foul to go the other way, clearing out Bryce Williams, trying to get some space. By the way, that'll happen a lot when you're playing against the Bruins.
Yeah, I think Morgan was the culprit there, as Williams needed to let the screen get set. Tough one.
Sort of enabled that to happen.
No question.
So Morgan gets the call rather than Bryce. And they leave wide open. That one falls from downtown.
Can't give Bilodeau that wide open of a look. That's a mental mistake. 2 guys ran at him and then 2 ran away from him.
Bilodeau is so good facing the basket. Another one. Gary. He almost shot that one from Tuscaloosa, where he transferred from. 8-0 scoring run now for Nebraska. And look at Esijan climb the ladder for that rebound. God, every time Williams launches, right?
They can feel it.
Like you're in a hockey arena and there's a 3-on-1 breakaway.
I'm running more pick and pops with Bilodeau if I'm UCLA.
Almost 5 minutes since UCLA scored from the floor. Stefanovic on the deck now, number 10 for UCLA. There's a good skip pass, but a foul.
Yeah, I think they caught Dylan Andrews trying to set a flare screen for Dominic Harris on the skip pass. So take a look. See bottom of your screen trying to move Gary.
Yeah.
And just got caught. But the right idea, I like that UCLA has seen that, Tim, because when you play Nebraska, it's those skip passes that have to be completed, and UCLA is clearly looking for that.
8 minutes gone by. Nebraska on an 8-0 spurt. Connor Esijan looking inside. A great roll. Beautifully done by Morgan.
I think this is an Andrew Morgan kind of a game. He's got the versatility to be able to play out on the perimeter a little bit, but also the power to punish things inside.
Matt, he's so tough. Short arm that one, though. In some traffic, collects his own rebound. Hoiberg sticks his arm in, and he'll pick up the personal.
Well, the North Dakota State transfer showing a little bit of toughness going through the Bruins for 2. Nebraska.
They know what the goal is.
Yes.
Here in Lincoln for their basketball program.
All right, Fred Hoiberg's done a really good job adjusting to the Big Ten. It's a big league, it's an old league, and a physical league. You saw those defense numbers reflecting that.
Traveling on Dominic Harris, the senior out of Marietta. By the way, speaking of the history, how about his granddad? His mother's dad, Jerry Bush, actually coached Nebraska to a victory over the John Wooden-led UCLA Bruins in 1955.
Incredible.
I wasn't actually quite born yet. That's how far back
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't going to say it. I'll let you.
I was, let's say, 3 months away from coming out of Loretta's womb.
There you go. There you go.
But It was his mom who made him aware of that. He told me yesterday when we spoke, and he said, "Now, Tim, make sure your producers check this out. I want to make sure. Mom might be, she might have forgotten by now. But no, it was true."
Yes.
By the way, his father taught sociology here in Lincoln when he was raised. The Seagian cannot get that one to go. And on the other end, Mack has his pocket picked by Hoiberg's son again. Boy, Sam's been heard from, hasn't he?
No question.
Buchtengel, Burkay with a threefer. And Nebraska leads 13-7. A baker's dozen in a row without an answer from UCLA.
And a heck of a play from Sam Hoiberg. Gets the steal and a nice find of Buchtengel. Providing a nice lift off the bench as Sam Hoiberg, as he usually does.
Weiser Stefanovic is out there. That one does not fall from Mack. Stefanovic fighting for it. Along with the Seagian. It was tied up. And on the alternating possession, 20 and counting without a bucket. Nebraska, meanwhile, 5 field goals by 5 different players. So they are warming up with these friendly rims here at the vault. Great look. The deke was beautiful. And then Morgan threaded the needle to Hoiberg. Smallest guy on the floor gets a layup.
Another smart, high IQ play with the basket cut from Hoiberg.
The ball fake was a beauty.
It was.
Clark looking to go crossover and attack the baseline. Well, early on, as Bilodeau answers nothing but nylon. I'd say not having Daly available, at least early on. We talked about him being questionable coming in. I sense that that's been a problem matchup-wise, especially on the offensive end for UCLA.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy in Eric Daly shooting 48% from 3, so he could knock down threes, and he has size. So it's a big loss right now. Another timeout.
Yep. 5-second call prior to the timeout. So it goes the other way. A turnover created by the Bruins.
When you talk about that ball fake, Jimmy B, look at Andrew Morgan as he's going to get it. Look at Hoiberg with an intelligent little 45-degree angle cut. See, Mack is rotating out. Just a high IQ play from Sam Hoiberg and a nice find from Andrew Morgan.
Yeah, Sam will not get an easier shot today than that. Well, the Bruins ended their drought. They're only by 5, and Kobe Johnson pumps from downtown. That one did draw iron. It's pulled down off the deck by Burkay Buchtengel.
That's an open 3, though, Ted. I like most of the shots UCLA's gotten from beyond the arc.
Bilodeau so quick to get it out. This is what Mack can do in the open floor. He is a tough guy that can motor and get you easy buckets.
Chicago guard coming right at you. And that's where you're able to find a transition basket, which is sometimes you're struggling, a good place to search.
Tell you, Hoiberg's made the difference since he's come into the game, hasn't he?
Yes.
Buchtengel again. That one halfway down the cylinder and out. Bilodeau clears.
I like Bilodeau on the perimeter right now.
Johnson. There's the answer. Well, he was on target with the last one. Just a little short that time, right above the rim and in. And we're tied at 15.
Yeah, the USC transfer very capable from beyond the arc.
Have been struggling a little bit of late. But to Nick's credit, he said, "Hey, just get your confidence back. We'll be in good shape." How about this?
Watch Sky Clark's penetration, and when you freeze it, look at 2 guys coming at Sky Clark, and Tyler Bilodeau is right in the middle of the floor. Nebraska's defense isn't set, so their rotations are a little out of sorts. So Wooster has to be the one to rotate down to try to stop Tyler Bilodeau. See, he's trying to point, and you're able to go high-low, and Bilodeau is able to take advantage of it. When you go against a scrambled defense, the scrambles out of it aren't on point, and UCLA takes advantage.
Well, they've got 6 assists on 8 field goals so far. That tells you a little something about getting your early offense going. Up against the clock on that drive, Bryce Williams is fouled. They have not gotten to the line, Nebraska, this entire game, and they were looking for some points in the paint. You know, only 8 points have been in the paint, and this is their first free throw. So challenging the glass is something that I'm sure that Coach Hoiberg wanted to see in this particular offensive sequence.
Well, in particular with Bryce Williams, him getting to the free throw line, I think has really unlocked his scoring. He's averaging over 6 made free throws a game at 90%, Tim, and he needs to get into a rhythm and a flow. He's now only got 4 points for a guy that averages almost 20 a game. Maybe he'll get 2 free throws to go down here, and now he's in a rhythm and a flow.
Mata picked up the foul. Adai's second. And as a result, he'll sit down with 3:22 remaining in the half.
And I should mention, too, no William Kyle available for UCLA as well. It's a South Dakota State transfer, was the Summit Defensive League Player of the Year.
He's from here.
Yes, he's right down the road from Omaha.
They'd love to get him back. Gives them some additional options down low. Azar Stefanovic out there with Trent Perry. Andrews, good pass to Perry, who got into the lane. Missed the in-between shot, though, and Berke Uchtengel with a rebound. Wooster leaving it for Sejan. And that's what he can do. Look at Hoiberg run that down. Almost saved it. Bruins come away with it.
Sejan now 0 for 3 from 3. Talking about a guy that's had 3 games where he's made 6 threes. So this is an elite level shooter that's 0 for right now. That's got to get going for Nebraska.
Running the curl and leaving it for Johnson. Great work by Stefanovic to find the open man.
Good high quality look though from UCLA.
Well, they had a rare season when they didn't make the tournament a year ago. Got too young too soon. And right away they got older. Sejan, that's now 4 he's missed from downtown. Out of bounds. Last touch by Bilodeau. This is a kid that you know as a coach's son. He's a human floor burn.
Yes, he is. Look at Sam Hoiberg selling out. This is every day, all the time with Sam Hoiberg. He changes games with his energy and toughness off the bench, and given Juwan Gary's foul trouble, having to play Hoiberg extended minutes.
How would you like to be the son of a great coach who also had a whale of an NBA career and could have been a quarterback for Tom Osborne, as well as a guard for Danny Nee back in the day? He was recruited for both football and basketball coming out of high school. And there's an answer. Ronnie Wooster.
Not a great three-point shooter. But hits a big one.
Well, they had missed their last 6 three-pointers. They're on their feet at the vault. Tied at 22. That was 1,000th career point for Wooster. I'm sure that won't matter to him until well past this game, but the crowd's aware of it. Stefanovic, a step back. Up against the clock. He had to let it go. And Wooster leads them down the floor, and Sejan gives it up. Williams is going to be fouled by Clark, who was driving the baseline. And here's that Wooster 3, and this is where he likes to launch from, on the wing.
Yeah, he's only made 5 threes all season. He's much more comfortable attacking the basket. But he's got a good-looking stroke. And it's a big one to get the crowd kind of into it. Now Bryce Williams back to the free throw line.
Yeah, it is a little surprising as good as that stroke is. No doubt about it. He only needed the 4 points, though, to reach that 1,000-point plateau. He's the third 1,000-point scorer on this team. Williams and Mast, the other 2.
Mast, knee surgery, taking a medical red shirt this season. I know fans around here hopeful you're going to get Mast back into the equation next year, but he was a big part of Nebraska's NCAA tournament run a year ago.
Huskers back up by 2 with just over 1 left in the half. This building is electric. Beautiful cut to the basket by Clark.
Nice back pick. Great set from Mick Cronin to free up Sky Clark. Right on that elbow, a little back pick.
Wooster, one more time, he takes it inside. The fight for the loose ball. Uchtengel kept it alive, and the foul will go against Berke Uchtengel. And boy, oh boy, did that get the mayor hopping mad. He is not pleased, and you rarely see Fred get that emotional.
Well, take another look at it. Uchtengel tied up.
I think he has a good point that time.
That's tough.
Everyone's got a right to the ball.
Yeah.
That was an over the back that I think was a little presumptuous.
I don't know about that one. With all the physicality, that's a tough call for Uctangel, and that's two.
Yeah, that second foul, particularly without some of the guys in terms of depth that Nebraska would love to have down low, that you touched on a moment ago. That's a critical second foul. Particularly in a game as physical as this one.
No doubt. Same play, back pick. Nebraska guarded it much better.
When you play UCLA, it's a wrestling match inside the lane.
0 for 1 if you're Nebraska. And Fred Hoiberg says pump the brakes.
I think one of the reasons why UCLA is so comfortable playing in the Big Ten is the physicality being what it is. A relatively loose whistle, and that aids and abets the approach that Nick Cronin has. Williams leaves it for Wooster for three, and he airmailed it to close out the half. Right where the road to...
UCLA has been in a lot of close games. They've been in 4 games decided by 3 points or less. Nebraska's only been in 1. A close game probably favors the Bruins just in terms of comfort.
Agreed. Bilodeau, from the very top of the key, knocks down the first one very quickly to give the Bruins a 2-point lead. And for Nebraska, I think there's a lot of pressure on them. When you think about their record, how good they have played at times, from a scheduling standpoint, it's not been good enough to become a ranked team. A victory over UCLA is a credibility W for this program.
Yes.
I think that puts a little pressure on the home team.
Especially in this building. And that's one thing. The reason Nebraska made the NCAA tournament a year ago is because they went undefeated in this building. And they took down Purdue, they took down Wisconsin. And this is one of those kind of opportunities here inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. I think when Bilodeau has Mia on him, he needs to do his work from the perimeter like he did in that first possession.
Matt tried a teardrop baseline, could not get it to go. Wooster leaves it for Bryce Lids. A beautiful pass. Well done, Mia. By the way, Braxton Mia loves playing against UCLA. Just go back and look at the numbers at Washington before he transferred into Nebraska. I think he's only missed one shot.
Yes.
in the 3 games he's now played.
21 for 22 was Braxton Mia in his career against UCLA when he was at Washington. But that was his first shot of the day there.
Yep.
He's not really a scorer like that, but he needs to punish Bilodeau inside.
Well, that was a high percentage shot, too. Rebound taken down off the deck by Johnson. And Matt looks to probe and find Bilodeau, if at all possible, in the painted area. Just underway, second half. Mack from downtown. Wooster clears.
Keep in mind, too, Gary and Uctangel picked up 2 personal fouls in that first half. Gary had to sit for almost the final 6 or 7 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, they really needed Sam Hoiberg to play. Bryce Williams taking it inside. Uctangel with the left hand can't get it to go. But they control the offensive glass, and we'll have a third opportunity.
And, Tim, when Braxton Mia is in the game, you do have to get him touches inside because that's why he's in there with the size advantage over Tyler Bilodeau, who is really more of a stretch 5 or a 4. And so Mia finally gets a touch around the rim and is able to put it in.
That field goal shooting percentage, yes, Mia up there amongst some of the all-timers down low. And right away, Jawan Gary heard from.
Boy, fell asleep on that backside, and Gary made the Bruins pay.
That's what these fans want to see more of. They exploded briefly a couple of times in the first half. That home court advantage has not been felt as often as they'd like.
No.
Clark answers, and UCLA draws to within 1.
See if UCLA can reassert themselves in this in the 4 defensively. Force 9 turnovers, well on their way to their season average of forcing 18 a game.
Gary was ready to launch.
Wasn't he? He was shooting before he caught it.
Yeah, he could not corral the pass. Burke wants to get it to him and turns it over, traveling off the dribble.
That is. Based on an out-of-bounds situation, Sebastian Mack got caught taking a nap just for a second. And I know Gary's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's already knocked down 1, and he's willing and able if he's open. That's a big shot to get him back into a flow after going to the bench with 2 fouls.
Well, that Alabama team, as you know, was a Final Four club a year ago. Think about how good that league must be. You lose players like Gary, and still that conference is doing so well, as is the Big Ten. This conference, very quietly, has 13 teams in the top 50.
In the top 50 of the net. So there are going to be a lot of resume-boosting opportunities in the Big Ten Conference.
Hands upset with that foul against Wooster. Stefanovic off the inbound.
Tim, UCLA loves Stefanovic in base and out-of-bounds situations. He is elite at curl into that 15-foot area.
How about that hook shot? Bryce Williams from the hip. And it's 31-30 Nebraska. Both teams heating up a little bit.
Much better rhythm. And for Bryce Williams, there's a fine line between selfishness and responsibility. It's his responsibility to be a little selfish to attack and score right now.
Bilodeau's been quiet. And I think number 34, me, has had something to do with that. He's trying to slide outside now. Clark off the bounce.
Clark starting to heat up a little bit. Got a little 15-footer to go down with the mismatch of Buchtengel rises up from 3.
Well, we're trading baskets now at a rate that we've not seen in this game before. Well, teams have now adjusted to the high-pressure defense. Buchtengel can't get that one to go. Cody Johnson's very active on the glass. If he doesn't get the rebound, he'll get it to someone else. And I believe over the back, Buchtengel might have gotten his 3rd right there. Well, a tough one for Nebraska to take.
Well, it's not quite Kareem, but it's a skyhook nonetheless. Bryce Williams in Oregon really are off to a good start.
That was a Twilight Zone game the Ducks had against Illinois. Now, the Fighting Illini are awfully good.
Nebraska kind of had one of those against Michigan State in December. Sometimes it just... it gets away from you.
By the way, the Spartans look like the Spartans of old. They're playing the way they played, maybe, say, 5-6 years ago.
Agreed.
Defensively. Don't have to shoot it particularly well to win. And that was the case at Ohio State last night. The game seen on Fox. And on the glass, that rebound taken down by Morgan, and he's fouled.
And Tim, that possession there, I like Bryce Williams isolated, but you have to get him moving, and you have to get the defense moving. Just pounding it and attacking UCLA's defense when they can get set, it's probably not going to yield great results. And this is the guy, Asijan. He's the three-point assassin for Nebraska, 0 for 4 in that first half.
Yeah, people were shocked that he had not scratched as yet because he's been so hot of late. 6 of his last 7 from downtown coming into today's game. Here he is with a dribble drive. Beautiful pass. Oh, he dropped the dime. Counted and a foul. Clark picks it up. That bounce pass entry by Asijan was just a thing of beauty.
And watch Morgan meet the ball, too, as Asijan, good timing. He beats Sky Clark to the ball and is able to go up quick. So watch as Morgan's going to grab it. A really good job by both guys on a pick and roll. Sometimes that roll pass pops late. So you got to keep the dribble alive, keep it alive, and then deliver.
Well, back and forth we go here in the second half. That's the 9th lead change that we've had. Huskers by 2.
And this is the guy that's heated up in this second half. Sky Clark really played well.
You know, the students are not in right now, not in session, but you wouldn't know it listening to this crowd. Morgan! An offensive foul. Bilodeau was moving, and as we were going to break, Buchtengel did pick up his 3rd, and now Bilodeau picks up the foul. That's just number 1 on him, so Nebraska needed a spurt, and they got it with this pilfer.
Well, how about this finish? 6'10" Andrew Morgan with a little reverse. And then definitely a moving screen. Bilodeau not set. Easy call for the officials.
Little go Big Red, strike up the band. Here at the PNC Bank Arena.
That's where they like to just run Asijan off a bunch of screens and see if he can shake loose. Got a switch.
Good ball. tell for him. Every shot has been right on target. The Iron Gods have been unkind all day to him. Ball tapped out like a human pogo stick. Clark finds it. And that would have been good had it gone. Stefanovic is fouled.
Bilodeau did a great job just getting a paw on the rebound to keep it alive, tap it out, and trust that other Bruins would be pursuing it. And it ends with Stefanovic getting to the free throw line. But that's a good play by Bilodeau, keeping the ball alive.
This young man, Lazar Stefanovic, was named to the Pac-12 All-Freshman team way back in the 21-22 season. Seems such a long time ago, post-COVID. And, of course, that was the time when the Bruins were a Final Four selection. I know Mick wants to go back to the tournament and get to the Final Four when people other than his dad can watch. By the way, his father became a rock star.
Yeah, he did.
During that tournament. Weren't many people in the crowd to find in Indianapolis that year. Those were the first second chance points for UCLA today, which should tell you something about Nebraska's work on the defensive boards. Morgan, Trent.
What a play.
Yep, and now numbers for Clark. Oh, good defense by Rooster. Cut him off at the pass, and he had numbers.
They had a 2-on-1.
Gary got a hand on it. Those are the quiet things he does on defense that turns him into the leader that he is. Juwan Gary. Going Euro is Williams, but he can't get it to fall. Cornhuskers by 2. UCLA has not shot at a high percentage from downtown in this game, and they have been scintillating coming in. They're getting good looks, though.
Yes.
Stefanovic does not fall, and it's ripped down by Williams.
Yeah, shooting better than 40% from 3 in the month of December, UCLA was.
And that'll be a block against Kobe Johnson. You know, he hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, but in only 20 seconds, he made 5 points. Look what he's done here in the second.
Well, Andrew Morgan, I thought he was the unsung hero in Nebraska's win against Indiana at home, and he has come in and provided a similar lift. Gives a little bit different of a look, a little bit of power, a little bit of grace, and there was a lot of grace here with a little reverse off the steal. But the bench has served well Nebraska in terms of energy with Hoiberg and Morgan.
Hoiberg, who's been very helpful off of the Cornhusker bench today. Johnson knocked that one away. 14 on the shot clock as Nebraska prepares to trigger it in bounds.
Well, the one thing I can promise you is Connor Essegian is not going to lose confidence. If he gets an inch, it's coming up. And Kobe Johnson needs to stay attached to him.
Williams. Well, he was ready for a thunderous dunk. But they were not going to allow it as he made his move into the painted area. Fouled by Lazar Stefanovic.
Look at all that space, Timmy B, because Connor Essegian's in the corner. Kobe Johnson cannot help. So even though Essegian hasn't made a 3, him just being on the floor creates space and opportunities for guys like Gary and Williams to drive. Good play from Fred Hoiberg and an attack from Bryce Williams.
And the only Husker to start all of those games a year ago, and you think about it, 3 seasons at Charlotte for Bryce Williams. 801 points in 88 career games. His dad, Henry, Charlotte 49ers all-time leading scorer before Bryce made his move here into the Midwest.
Yeah, and free throw line served Bryce Williams well today. He's not shot it great from the field, but he's finding a way to get to the charity stripe.
Neither team has missed at the line. Collective 12 of 12 after that bucket. Good to see that in the college game.
Yes.
I know that's what UCLA did not see in the second half of the Garden in New York. And contributed to that 16-point lead that was lost against North Carolina. A Tar Heels team that was struggling prior to that game.
The free throws can loom large in close games. There's no question about it.
Called upon to play a lot of minutes today. Cannot get that one to fall.
That's all Bryce Williams. Great ball pressure. Eliminated the vision. Trying to go high-low to Bilodeau, and then he was able to contest Mack on the drive.
He is the recipient of those minutes lost by Eric Daly. Out with that issue that he's got going on with his head stemming from an injury against North Carolina prior to the Gonzaga game. And a foul. Stopping play by Johnson. That's his third. Timeout in Lincoln.
Particular instance, it's Connor Esigian. So look where he's at. He's going to get all the way to 1 foot on the lane line, Timmy B. So as you front Bilodeau, you have to understand your coverages and see the help. Look how far Esigian is at helping. He's guarding Stefanovic all the way in the corner. And you got to be able to scramble accordingly out of that. But it's a nice sequence from Nebraska with Esigian providing that backside help.
And then the perimeter defense has obviously been effective. Bruins 3 for 21 from downtown and have missed their last 11. And they were scorching the nets coming in, as we pointed out.
Bryce Williams, 7 for 7 now from the free throw line. He has struck 2 for 9. But how do you continue to put your fingerprints on this thing offensively? You get to the free throw line. All great scorers know how to get fouled, and that's Bryce Williams.
And this lead is the largest we've seen, 40-34. Huskers by a half dozen.
Good rotations there, like Fred Hoiberg was talking about.
Bilodeau comes out to the three-point line now, but attracts attention from Morgan. And the shot clock dwindles down to under 5. Clark. Look at Hoiberg's sky in front of Johnson. Smallest guy on the deck. Esigian ball fake. Oh, Buchtenschel almost tore the roof off the sucker, had he been able to knock that one down. Pardon me for my Parliament Funkadelic moment. But that was
no apology needed.
Bilodeau tries to answer, and it's pulled down by Bryce Williams.
Boy, Connor Esigian 0 for 6 from 3. He's gotten 6 good looks.
Real good looks, and Buchtenschel gets his 4th.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, he had just gotten back into the game. He had picked up that 3rd moments ago.
Good anticipation from Sky Clark, especially, Tim, you're used to them going after the ball, UCLA. And there, Clark varies what he does, sets his feet, takes the charge.
You know, his amp meter's got to be high, though, because he played for UCLA a year ago. Didn't quite work out for him. It just wasn't a good mix. His style of play with young guys around him did not fit in what Mick Cronin likes to do. But I think with Fred, with the way Hoiberg likes to structure his offense, he's a catalyst for them.
Yeah, he's a great fit, and fit matters. And Berke Buchtenschel is in the right system here in Lincoln.
Mack takes it inside, and he's fouled on the other end. Only Richie Young that time. Aaron Eulis, who has been out for quite some time. We anticipated that he'd play, and he reached in and picked up that foul. Number 2 in white.
Oh, boy, missed Kobe Johnson wide open for a layup on that baseline out of bounds. 2 guys ran at Stefanovic.
How about splitting that double team by Mack? How about that? How good is Sebastian Mack today? 40-36 Nebraska. We've reached the halfway mark here in the second.
Nebraska only 2 turnovers in this second half. Doing a much better job taking care of it.
Well, that's what you do if you can't knock them down from deep. You take it inside, and Connor Esigian is fouled. How about this from Mack?
Boy, splitting that ball screen. Morgan caught flat-footed. Eulis comes over to help, and it doesn't matter. It's a big-time offensive sequence from Sebastian Mack. And you're talking about a guy, 12 points per game last year, started every game. So he got a lot of experience, and he looked good there.
Connor Esigian. His younger brother, Sam, is the team manager. And his mom, Jody, said that she never expected boys, both of them, to be this far from home in Fort Wayne, Indiana. By the way, that's where Tominaga is located, correct?
Yeah, he's
in the
Pacers G League. Correct. And maybe those 2 free throws will get Esigian going for that next open 3.
42-36. Fort Wayne, is that the Mad Ants?
The Mad Ants.
The Mad Ants. Bilodeau from point-blank range, and it's 42-38.
illustrated that backside help when Nebraska fronts. No backside help, rotations weren't there, and an on-time delivery, and Bilodeau hammers it home. Good offense from UCLA.
Hoiberg hoists one. Hello, how do you do? Seasons everywhere.
Great weak side rotation.
Great pass. Morgan in traffic though. Stays with it. Count it. And the foul.
Well, Tim, another excellent catch from Andrew Morgan, but Sam Hoiberg is having a whale of a game off the bench, doing the toughness things. Nice pass in traffic. Morgan catches it, stays strong through multiple Bruins. How about the bench coming up big for Nebraska?
And some wholesale changes about to occur for the Bruins. Mata, Perry, Harris coming onto the deck. Listen to this crowd. This spurt of 13-4 has garnered them a 10-point lead. First double-digit lead for either team today.
And Tim, somebody for UCLA has to step up and knock down a three.
Well, and the bench points for Nebraska, astounding. It's been their bench that's been the factor here in the second. Another turnover.
Well, right now, short leash for Mick Cronin. You make a mistake, you're coming out, and you're going to think about it. Dylan Andrews, a turnover, he'll take a seat.
Yeah, he's got 5 new guys out there from where he was 30 seconds ago in real time.
I don't think UCLA's defense has had as much teeth in it in this second half as well. Got to turn the dial up a little bit on this end of the floor.
And I think they've done this with Gary in some foul difficulty. And now Ulis gets involved, and it's coming up big red at this stage. 8 love and a timeout. Start that Jawan Gary had and the early foul difficulty.
No doubt. It's time for an answer from UCLA. And you don't want to settle for threes, but somebody's got to knock down a three. UCLA 3 for 23 from beyond the arc, 0 for 6 in this second half.
Just occurred to me that most fans probably saw Larry, the cable guy, for the first time with shirt sleeves.
What's going on? He's dressing up. He's dressed nice.
I'm not going to blow his cover, but when we were here for the football game, he opened the show. His agent's been in touch with Fox, by the way.
And Nebraska's doing a better job inside defensively in this half.
12 points also inside for Nebraska, something that was missing early.
Yeah.
They're now getting done, and that is accomplishing points in the paint, which they did not have, frankly, in the first half.
And you'd imagine here with a made free throw, UCLA will slap their press on, see if they can't get back to their ways of turning Nebraska over like they did in that first half.
Bruins have missed 12 straight trays. Haven't made one in under 20 minutes of game time action, so I'm sure that's something that in the box score Mick will be looking at immediately after this game, because they're a tough out when they're making shots from downtown.
And no Eric Daly makes a difference for UCLA. He made 4 threes against Gonzaga. And certainly when you take on Nebraska with the way Nebraska defends, you're going to have to knock down threes.
Jawan is warming up just in time for the home fans.
Mata got switched onto a siege-in, which created a rotation, and Gary ends up with a wide-open triple.
This is when you rely on your defense to help you. Great pass from Mata to a backdoor cut from Bilodeau.
Don't see a lot of Bilodeau at the 4, but you're seeing it here now with Mata and Bilodeau at the 4. Maybe that'll get Bilodeau a little more unlocked offensively.
And with Mia on the deck at 7-1, he's got a bunch of wing players around him. 4 guards and Mia, and that's going to be a foul against Mia. And boy, you know, Clark just ran right into him, and it hurt both of them. They're both trying to shake out the Cub win.
Sky Clark got rocked by Berke Buchtengel in the first half with the ball screen. And Clark's just been taking some damage. Take another look at it.
His left arm was already hurting him from the first half, and the shoulder got it right there, you can see.
Yeah.
Going right into that 7-foot 1-inch roadblock that is Braxton Mia. Really tough day physically for Clark. And that is number 3 on Mia. And remember, Buchtengel with the 4th. He's out there and will toe the free throw line.
A lot of game left here, Timmy B.
And the building's a lot more quiet. Count it! And a foul. And who better than Sebastian Mack? He's a Mack attack.
He has been the best Bruin attacking the basket. Mack, this is just coast to coast. Defense not quite set. You're not in your help caps, and Mack takes advantage and gets all the way to the hoop for the finish. Big-bodied, strong Chicago guard. Looking good there.
Yeah, you say this about Clark. He's sitting and hurting at the stage. They're checking out that left arm down at the end of the bench. But going back and looking at this, that might have been a good foul because it quieted the crowd, slowed the game down, and UCLA was able to convert. It's a 9-point game now.
Trying to communicate those screens, Timmy B. You've almost got another Bruins rocked with a screen about 70 feet from the hoop.
Oh, a steal. Beautifully done by Maha. And then a quick foul given up. As they were running away from him, Bryce Williams, I think, is going to be tagged.
I'm not sure if he grabbed Sebastian Mack, but the officials were all over it. They're going to look at it.
Yeah. Right now it's a 1-and-1, but they are going to look at it, see if a flagrant one might be in play. That's the voice of Paul Sells. Really like this invention for us, by the way, that they're able to say to everyone live what normally they'd have to send one official over to tell us in the past.
And the reality is they're going to be able to communicate what's going on better than everybody else. But take another look at it. Yeah, that's almost a clear path foul. You know, he grabbed Sebastian Mack as Mack was going to get ahead of him for a lead pass. So watch, Bryce Williams' left arm's going to hold Mack.
Yeah, that makes it intentional, really.
Yeah,
does.
That's going to be probably a flagrant one.
Right. And really, when you think about it, a bad foul to give up when you're in your back court. I mean, he's far from the basket. Really not the time to do it. I understand maybe what he was thinking. But
yeah, he felt like he was beat. And it was going to be a layup, but you're right. Can't just wrap up a guy.
By the way, all you UCLA fans out there with that number game flourishing, and UCLA, USC, all so very good, and of course the usuals like UConn, Iowa, Tennessee is on the comeback trail with their brand new coach. I've been more entertained by watching the women's game in recent years than I have in probably a couple of decades. So there are so many more teams besides that core group. And UCLA, one of 6 teams that have top 15 teams in both the women's and men's game. And I just think that's great for the whole of basketball.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
We'll see what the verdict is here.
It is going to be a flagrant one, I think.
I think that's the right call. That's Paul Sells.
We'll get the announcement here. Williams has been informed.
Yeah, you can tell Bryce Williams isn't even arguing. He just got caught.
Right, mark this one down, though.
Yes, absolutely.
16 to play, 9-point game. And now a flagrant one, so free throws plus the ball. Can UCLA make it count.
You pointed it out, Timmy B. Missed free throws really hurt UCLA in that North Carolina game. When you're trying to climb this mountain, get back in the game, every point's going to matter.
Now, Nebraska, if they can get a stop here, they'll be very thankful.
No doubt.
The momentum of this game was all theirs until that flagrant one, a.k.a. intentional foul. Mack, a teardrop. Too strong. Mata tries to knock it out. Crowd wanted it over the back, but he's so tall.
7'3".
He really didn't touch Morgan.
He is huge.
Mack again looking good. Will his way to the basket. Gives it up. Stefanovic can't get it to fall. Excuse me, Johnson, and it's out of bounds. Huskers get the job done. That was a really good defensive sequence for the home team.
Yeah, there was a version of that being a 5-point possession, and it only ends in 1 point. But now you got to handle the ball. This is where, if you can get a siege in down the floor here, and if you break the press, you can get an open three if you handle it right.
Booster's going to bring it up, being dogged by Dylan Andrews. And utilizing as much clock per possession at a time in the game when you probably would be thinking in those terms if you're Fred Hoiberg. Dribble handoff. Not there for Bryce Williams. He may be a little disturbed about his defensive mistake. Harris can't get it to fall. Bryce Williams clears. So a couple of uneven possessions for both teams.
UCLA continues to be ice cold from three.
And it's in their heads too now. You know, you've been struggling so much for so long, particularly when you're on the road. It can get inside your head. Great move, only to have it rejected by Mata. He's asking for a deflection and possession of the ball. He's not going to get it. With under 2, they would have to go to the clock. UCLA now 0 for their last 15 from downtown.
Incredible wing from Mata, but now 5 on the clock. You got to be ready to defend if UCLA.
That ball should have been UCLA's. They got a break. Morgan not there with an air ball.
Another great contest. Mata and his length making plays on both ends of the floor. He's still a work in progress, but he's making an impact here.
Well, this is where teams that play great defense always feel confident late in the game, no matter what, because they know they can get stops. Entering the game again is Sky Clark. Stefanovic also back on the deck as Harris and Dylan Andrews sit down. It has been a tough night, or afternoon, I should say, for Clark and Matt. And they're both back out there. Number 55 in the blue and gold, and number 12.
Post up Bilodeau trying to take advantage of it.
He's going to go to the rim. Oh, he wanted a whistle that time, did not get it. Nebraska's paint coverage has been tremendous.
Good rotation. Nick Cronin wanted a foul.
Williams, tried him out and under, but could not get it to go, and we got a foul. Pretty aggressive move. But when you get that much size near the rim, you're going to not get the shot up. Bilodeau will be credited with this foul, his third.
Man. Bryce Williams might have gotten lucky. That certainly had the appearance of an offensive foul. A little bit of Hollywood from Sebastian Mack there. But Bilodeau just shoved Morgan. Easy call for the official.
And when you're playing for the Los Angeles team, you have to learn to act a little bit. His reaction to having the personal called on him was perfect. He just needs to go down the street to the Fox lot, and he might have an opportunity in a new sitcom.
That's it. And Bilodeau will take a seat now. Again, a smaller lineup. with 4 guards around Mata.
Here we go. 55-45. Home team's fan base wants some defense. Clark lost control. He's hurting. That left arm is not right. Williams on the other end. He's stripped but fouled. That'll be a block against Sebastian Mack. And Clark is really hurting. They're going to have
Defensively, and 3 for 26 from 3 is just obviously not going to get it done. With all that said, UCLA is still a team that shot 40% from 3 in the month of December, so they are more than capable of erasing a deficit of this nature in just under 4 minutes.
Both teams have shot around 35% from the floor, which you expect in any game involving a Mick Cronin coach team, but they have to get a few of these to drop, and Stefanovic will knock down the first triple.
Yeah, a little mental mistake from Sam Hoiberg. Maybe the first one of the day goes under that pin down, and Stefanovic reads it perfectly and stops behind it. Gonna have to knock down some threes if you're UCLA, and that's one.
They were 0 for their last 15 prior to that from downtown. And that foul will go against Harris of UCLA.
Yeah, watch this, Timmy B. Sam Hoiberg, watch, he goes under that Mata screen, and that gives too much space, and Stefanovic stops behind it. Great read, and he drills the triple.
I'm going to give a break to the coach's son there, though. He might have needed to go through his legs. I mean, Mata is so big.
He's enormous. I can't express how long he is or tall he is, but...
And the Nebraska bigs, Mia comes to mind, certainly Butenchel, the former Bruin. They've collected their fair share of fouls and played a large role in this game. The massive size of both of these teams are well within the scouting report of any team that goes against them. Lead back to 10. 3 minutes plus remaining. Terry's out there. He can launch from downtown. Mata doubled and fouled. Morgan with an extra squeeze from Hoiberg. And the foul will get Mata to the free throw line. It goes against Morgan. That's number 3 on him. I think they've really played. I think Nebraska has really played well when Morgan's been on the floor.
Yeah, Morgan's been terrific.
Well, look at that problem from the free throw line on the year. And most of that really coming from that second half against North Carolina. I mean, they win that game by probably 10 points if they just make
absolutely
a normal percentage. Mata gets 1 out of 2.
Gotta handle the ball if you're Nebraska. Getting any sort of bind, you'd much rather take a timeout than a risky pass. Having multiple ball handlers is so important. Williams, Hoiberg, Raleigh Wooster, all can handle it.
And then with the clock winding down, you want one of these guys to knock one down. That was an ugly shot by Wooster, and the Bruins with an opportunity here. Again, lining up around the three-point line. You better defend it if you're Nebraska.
There's a little more urgency here from UCLA.
Going inside to Mata. Take what they give you, right?
Absolutely.
Now down to 7. It's like a slow run, a drip, 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 sort of like some coffee percolating. Hoiberg almost walked with it.
Mack almost to an offensive foul. Got to know who you're helping off of here if you're UCLA on this penetration from Bryce Williams.
Well, you'd rather not foul because Nebraska's been money at the stripe for the most part today. Has not fallen. Johnson comes down with a rebound. The door is opening for UCLA. Mack likes that matchup. Hoiberg wins it though. Wow. How about his quick hands? How about his quick hands?
Big time defense from Sam Hoiberg in a clutch spot.
Yeah, Mack loved the matchup, loved the size advantage, and then Hoiberg
was up to the challenge, wasn't he?
He sure was. Almost to the point where you have to foul if you're UCLA, and you really don't want to. Nebraska's 17 of 19 at the line today. Wooster up against the clock. Stefanovic clears. Bruins in a must-make mode here. under a minute remaining. And a timeout. You talk about a game-changing play late.
Yeah.
Coach's son is going to eat a really good dinner tonight when he gets home.
Yeah, he's earned it. Down, UCLA down 7, big sequence. Mack trying to attack, and not only does Hoiberg beat him to the spot, has great hands and saves it. And that is a terrific
against the Zags. And again, if you hold a Mark Few team into the 60s, that's about the only way to beat them.
Well, even today, UCLA has not shot the ball well, but their defense has at least given themselves a chance here late. And some clutch free throws from Wally Rooster here.
18 of 20 at the line for the team. 19 of 21. Still a two-possession game, 60 to 54. Gell back out there working on Mata. And Mata with a nice turn goes to the right hand to cut it to 4 with 36.8 remaining.
I like that from Mick Cronin. Rather than jacking up a quick, tough 3, you throw it inside and you play the pressing game to see if you can't force a turnover. Mata, who has really played well in this second half, look at him pivoting his way to options, and that Fred Hoiberg reminded his team that Nebraska has 3 timeouts left. If you get in a bad spot at all, call a timeout.
Particularly with the trapping that UCLA will do. That's true at any time in the game, and especially now. Rooster triggers it in. Come back to the ball. Gell did, and he gets fouled immediately by Trent Perry. Uh-oh, do I...
Tim, you've seen a lot of buzzer beaters in your day to get to spend time with you and share the headset with you.
Very nice of you, and thank you, Max, and all the guys through all the years, and, oh, by the way, lost jobs. I've managed to hang in there. Gell at the free throw line for the first time, 0 for 1 today, and anything now would matter a lot, and get that one to go. Beautifully done. That's Dylan Andrews doing what he always does, and there's that quick trap. Foul given up. And this stop and go is just special.
Yeah, trying to get Stefanovic potentially a look, but instead a stutter step, looking like Andrews is going to rise up. Gary bites on it.
You know, that's when the ball almost appears to be a part of the anatomy.
Yes.
You're thinking, oh, wait a minute, did he touch it? Is that a double dribble? No.
And Gary just didn't want to give up a 3. Hoiberg, a big one.
Extending the game is what UCLA is attempting to do here, and they're forced to go to the line where Nebraska's been money. And the coach's son gets them both. Rooster forced him to put it on the deck. Andrews, rejected. Gary was shot out of a cannon there. And the Huskers hope to dribble it out. It's a Cornhusker coronation now.
Well, Timmy B, they give the starting defense for the Nebraska football team black shirts. I think Juwan Gary might deserve a black shirt with this rejection. What timing above the rim. What a play from Juwan Gary.
Now, we've not seen the best of Bryce today, but UCLA is going to do that to a lot of great players. They are. I can see now why he matters, and also that Gary, even though he got into early foul trouble, at the end of the game, you need number 4 out.
Absolutely, and look at that. 10 for 11 from the free throw line. Make it 11 for 12. So when you don't have it going, making shots, you get to the free throw line.
There's a steal by Gary. And the exclamation point is indeed coming.
Well, Tim, Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary, that core led Nebraska to the NCAA tournament a year ago. They come back. They're leading the way here when it matters most. most in a clutch game, as is Sam Hoiberg, who was on that team a year ago.
Looking out here at the faces of the players for Nebraska, you can tell. I know they had a lot of signature wins a year ago to get to the tournament. They still haven't gotten an NCAA tournament win in this program. But there's no doubt how much this game really mattered to them. The pressure on them to win, particularly given where UCLA as a program and in this season already is, it was huge for them today. Might be their biggest home win of the 20 in a row they will now have. The Huskers come away victorious, 66-58.